Hi, you guys, it's Sherry B. And today I'd like to come on and discuss overcoming addictions. First and foremost, I would like to start off by saying if anyone can discuss the topic of overcoming addictions, it's me. I myself have overcome several addictions in my life, and I understand what all it entails to overcome an addiction. And I also understand how addiction can be detrimental to your health, your well-being, and ultimately ruin your life, destroy you, if you don't get a grip on it in time. So I would like to start off by saying, what is an addiction? An addiction is a term that means a compulsive psychological need or use for something that's habit forming. An addiction can be a person, place, or a thing. You know, most people look at addictions as drugs and alcohol, and those are addictions, but there are many other addictions that's out there that one can be bound by. So we wonder, like, who are prone to addictions and who aren't, you know, because some people can do certain things and they don't fall subject to addiction, and another person may try it and they become addicted to it. There's this thing called nature versus nurture. You know, and nature is your genes, biological, what's in you, your makeup, if I may. For those of us that come from certain generational curses, if I may, you know, certain things we just can't do. You know, like for instance, if you have a lot of alcoholics in your family, you might not want to drink. You know, if you have a lot of people that are prone to drugs or what have you, you might not want to experiment with drugs because there's a weakening in your DNA, in your makeup for that. Also in nature, you know, in nurture, your environment, the things that you're exposed to all the time, the things that you're constantly seeing and taking in, oftentimes be the things you often do. So you have to be careful and mindful of the environment that you're in and have an understanding of what's in you genetically. Also, it's very important to know the signs of addictions. For me, when I had addictions and displaying bad habits, I never thought that I was addicted to anything. I thought I was just doing me, doing what I like to do, not realizing that I didn't have it, it had me. You know, not realizing that you compulsively need this, you know. So it's good to know what a sign of an addiction is, you know, that way we can have a clear understanding as to what we're dealing with. So the first thing is a lack of control or inability to stay away from a substance or behavior. Like if you can't go without it, if you have to have it, you're addicted to it. Decreased socialization, like abandoning commitments or ignoring relationships. If it controls you, because that's what addiction does, it controls you. It will be the only thing that really matters to you, you know. So if you find yourself in that situation, then there is an addiction. Ignoring risk factors, i.e., for instance, smoking cigarettes, knowing that what can come from that. Sharing needles, you know what can come from that. Even being promiscuous, you know, engaging in promiscuous sex activities, you know what can come from that. All of those are risk factors that if you're ignoring, is an addiction. Physical effect, like withdrawal or needing a higher dose of something. Usually when a person starts out doing something, it's not that much, it's just a little bit here and there, and then next thing you know, you need this much. It gets more and more and more and more, because what it's doing is ultimately your body's getting immune to it. You know, the rush isn't the same no more, and now you need more and more and more to get you chasing the feeling that you first got, you know. And so it's very imperative that we don't allow addictions to overtake us in our life, you know. You know, if you find yourself or you know someone else that are struggling with an addiction, you know, many of us do, different types of addictions, you know, get a grip on it, you know, challenge yourself to get control of whatever it is that's controlling you. Because it would be almost impossible you know, and you may can very well live a decent life, but it'll be impossible to be the best version of you, of yourself, while you're being controlled by an addiction. It's very, very important that we challenge ourselves to be the best version of ourselves daily. So if you know you're bound by an addiction, or don't have control over something that you think you had control, or you thought you had control over, I challenge you to kick it to the curb. I have, and so can you. Next week, I'm going to pick up part 2 of this. I hope this have encouraged you guys. As always,